But what I know is I'm feeling just fine.
My life is like a red carpet, and I'm feeling like the richest millionaire. This is my local mayor, and I'm the biggest star around here.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. This is an extension of the, Ebony K. Williams bus driver fiasco. I did a live about it too, but here's the thing. And this is for the ladies, to get y'all just in a concept of what's going on. What if you're not better than the blue collar brother? And this is where a lot of this, anger stems from, is because of delusion. It's like, okay, the middle class is roughly between $52,000 a year and $156,000 a year. Anything over $156,000 a year is considered upper class. So what you have is, you have a group of women who may be in the upper class saying, these guys are beneath me. But the majority of the women are in the middle and lower class who are saying that, these guys are beneath me. And the issue is, what happens, y'all don't ask the question, what happens when when guys deal with women who believe that they're better than the men, because they look at an occupation holds more weight than the actual pay. So, if somebody's doing a white collar job, it can pay less than a blue collar job. But because they have a white collar job, AC, good conditions, you can dress nice, you don't have to sweat or anything, right? You can be on the phones talking, or on the computer sending emails, whatever, right? So, let's take this into consideration. This is what I mean. You can have an energy company, say oil and gas, and you can have a white collar job at that oil and gas company that has people in the building, doing all the administrative type work over the phones, on the internet, putting the numbers together, and they can make a good living. Let's just say they make $80,000, right? And then you can have a guy who transports oil and gas. He's a truck driver. He goes from the plant to, the refinery, or the field to the refinery, or the refinery to the stations, or this, that, and the third. Or even a roughneck, a guy who works on the rig itself, right? They work for the same company. And this guy probably makes more than the white collar lady, right? But because he's in the field, right? You just ain't on my level. Like, ain't on your level. What? Because now we have this isn't a class issue. This isn't a classist issue. This isn't a classism issue. Because you're probably in the same class. It's a bourgeoisie proletariat issue. You feel like you're more important than a person because of their occupation. But then what goes on when somebody says this person that you think is beneath you is more important than you? See how we forget that part? You work for a construction company and you're in the building working, you're getting the calls, we want this done, we want that done, we're going to have a contract. So you're doing that part, and you're like, yeah, I'm killing it. But you're better than the person who actually has, the people who have to go out on the scene and build it. Because without the people that build, you have no job. So this hierarchy is reversed. And the reason I bring this up is because what people fail to not just necessarily realize, but people fail to take into consideration is you're saying you're better than people that you're benefiting off of. And while you're thinking people aren't smart, they're confused because they're trying to figure out how are you better than me when my job makes sure your job is possible. I don't, it's like I don't get it. And then I've seen this over the years where people have, I work here, this person works there, and they think because they work here, they make more money than the person who works there. So this white collar person, for the most part, believe they make more than this blue collar person, and for the most part, blue collar people make more than white collar people. People like to do the upper managerial positions, but truth be told, it's the workers in the field that normally make more time, and they do more work, and they put in more overtime, because you're talking about a salary worker a lot of time versus in an hourly worker. So people forget about time and a half, double time, you know adding up over the night differential and all that other stuff, night pay, and if you work for say an energy company like an electric company, and you have to go from, like, a natural disaster happens, and say you how can I say this? I'm in Texas, so say you got to go from Texas to Mississippi because a hurricane took out the power, so they need as many all hands on deck. The minute you clock out to go to Mississippi, your time starts, and your time doesn't stop until you get back to Texas. So you could be in Mississippi for 2 weeks straight. You've got 24 hours for 14 days straight. So you got the time, the half time and a half, the overtime, the double time, all over that, nighttime, all that. You got all that. Then you come back. And a person who's sitting behind the desk like, I'm better than you, but the check don't look the same. So, and I've seen even I've seen women who thought they were better than guys. I work in a bank. I'm working in a bank. I'm doing banking. And she finds out the guy that she thinks that she's beneath got more money than her. And it's like, whoa, how did you do that? He works harder than you. So sometimes you got to stop insulting people, because this idea that people are regular people and average people, that's nice. But there are but most people are either in the lower class or the middle class. Most people are living check to check. But most blue collar people make more money than white collar people. So just because you haven't sweat in 10 years does not mean you've made more money, because the smarter person would say, I'm smarter than you because I can make more money than you, and I'm willing to do it. But I don't do as much. Maybe you don't. But I'm willing to, so I do more. They can, like, when I think about being AI, artificial intelligence, that's replacing white collar jobs. So guess what? If you think you're better than blue collar people, you're gonna be out of work before these blue collar people be out of work. So you got to think about this type of stuff. But that's just my opinion. Tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
You ever been at the top of the universe? I'm gonna take you there.